I don't know. Is Florida State leaving? Do they have the money to leave is the more important question. Did Sea-Dog get a new dog? No? Yeah?
I mean, a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Back when I bought my house.
No?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I can hear myself.
Sorry.
It's all right. I've cut the intro short today because I might have to get off a little bit before 9 o'clock, so I want to make sure we get through everything. Let us look at this dog of yours.
Come here. Come here. Come here.
Do you have headphones or something you can put on so I don't have to hear the show in the
sorry.
background? Yeah.
Sick. I usually wear them. He's been in a couple videos. He got me on TV.
Okay, is that a Boston Terrier?
No, can you hear me?
Yeah.
No, he's he's like he looks like it.
I can still hear the show.
You can.
Yeah. Can y'all hear that?
Do you have it on your YouTube? I don't have it on.
Okay.
He's like a come here, my boy. He's like a pit bull boxer.
Oh.
Which usually I'm a little, weary of pit bulls because I got kids and stuff around, and I got him from the shelter. But he's like the sweetest dog. There was volunteers. We found him on. He was going to be put down. He was at a kill shelter, and the volunteers all like rant and raved about how sweet he was, and he's a good boy. Yeah, he's my good boy.
So how many dogs? I mean, not dogs. How many animals do you have now?
Well, we got him back in August. So I have 2 dogs now. We got him to play with our other dog that we had because he was lonely, so now we have 2 dogs. We got them to play with each other, and 3 cats.
2 dogs and 3 cats. Lou wants to know, is it a good idea to get a dog when you live in a camper? Well, I think Sea-Dog didn't you build a fenced-in area outside? Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as I got it, because my other dog hated being in the yard by himself, and he gets lonely and nervous, so we got him so that they could stay in the yard together.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So guys, we have a great show planned tonight. Something we do every year, and I can't believe we haven't done it yet. I guess it just didn't kind of work out timing wise with me going to Las Vegas and all that kind of stuff. But every year following the football season, we do a superlative show for all the ACC teams. If you remember high school superlatives, most likely to succeed, best looking, whatever, similar to that. So Sea-Dog put together a bunch of different categories. And I don't know how you want to do it. Do you want to just me and you to do it, or do we want to bring people on to do it with us, or how do you want to do that? It doesn't really matter to me.
We have our picks down, but we don't have a ton of people coming on these days anymore. So yeah, I'm sure it'd just be a person or two would be fine.
Yeah.
Slam or something.
Yeah, if anybody wants to come in and participate and give us your superlatives, along with after you hear our picks and our explanations, feel free to do so.
ACC fan, of course.
Yeah, preferably an ACC fan. No. Two announcements. First of all, we'll get to the 100th episode celebration here in just a minute, because that's very important. There's another announcement though. Edward has a YouTube channel again.
Oh, I'm gonna subscribe right now.
Now, if I would have thought about it before I started the show, I would have copied his. Because I did subscribe. I think I was the third subscriber he had.
Yeah.
Uncle Lou's the one to let me know about it, so I'm assuming he was either the first or second to subscribe to it.
Might be the fourth.
He might be the fourth. I forget what the name of this thing is. Let me see this. Let me go back and find the text message here. It's called, the name of his channel is Millennium 1975, which I'm guessing that's the year he was born in.
Millennium.
But it does have his name. You know how you get like a handle?
Right.
So it does have his name under there. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know who's running that channel for him, if it's going to be a Dylan Deloney or what, like last time. But everybody can relax and feel comfort in the fact that Edward now has a YouTube channel, and you don't have to go over to Rumble to see him anymore.
Well, I wish I could find it, but I don't see it.
Oh, you don't see it?
Oh, here we go. Battle Angel linked it in the.
Oh, there you go.
In the chat, so I'm definitely. Yes.
Yes. So everybody's mentioning the 100th episode, so we'll get that out of the way here. How long have we been doing the show? I know we've been doing it for 100 episodes. I do know that. But how long have we been doing it? When did we start this show?
We started right at the beginning of the 21 season, I think. I don't know. Was it the 22 season? Yeah.
It had to have been 22. Yeah. I think it was
for 2 years, 2 seasons.
Okay,
2 years.
2 full seasons. Why does it feel like longer than that to me? I don't know. But nonetheless, I gotta get my champagne. Hold on.
2 years is a long time.
You know how formal I am with celebrations and whatnot. Yeah. So yes, I do have to do a toast. Do you have anything there to drink with you?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yep, I got my red Solo cup.
All right, red Solo cup. Now, in
honor of Toby Keith.
Now, obviously, we're in different states right now, and you don't drink anyway. Mm-hmm. But I am going to pour you a glass. I'll just drink it for you.
Appreciate it.
Actually, I don't know if I will drink it. I'm not feeling great, so.
Yeah.
All right. Let's pop this thing. See if I can do it without breaking anything here. See here. Oh, shit. That thing went clear out into the hallway.
Nice.
All right. So I'll pour myself one here. People at home. Oh, I'm going to spill shit here. People at home, if you want to toast along with us, feel free. A virtual toast and whatnot. There's one for me and one for Sea Dog.
Yeah.
Not the best champagne in the world, but who cares? Okay. So here is to the 100th episode of the ACC show with Pigskin Pete and Sea Dog. And of course, I can't not mention all the people that show up every single week to watch this shit show, and all of the people that come on the panel every week to contribute to this shit show. Here's to you, Sea Dog, and everybody else. And I guess here's to 100 more. Cheers.
Hell yeah. Cheers.
That's not as bad as I thought. It's cheap champagne, but that's
Cheers.
That's not as bad as I thought.
Nice.
All right. Well, we do have one ACC person coming on. We haven't seen this guy in a while.
Yeah. Well, he's got a kid.
Yeah. Yeah. So, speaking of a toast, we should have given him a toast for being a new dad. You there, buddy? Your mute's your thing's on mute.
I'm muted. Hold on one second, bro. Can you bring me in just a second, please?
Yeah. Anyway, for those keeping score at home, that is our buddy True Seminole. How long ago did he have that baby? I guess it was during the football season, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Let's see if he's ready now.
Yeah.
He'll be.
I'm ready.
All right, there you go.
Sorry.
How long ago did you have that baby? Or not you? You didn't have the baby, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. October 19th was when she was born.
Okay, October 19th. So that's what should I do this? November, December, January, February. That's 4 months. That's 4 months. So, exactly how much sleep have you gotten in the last 4 months?
I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to have to join back later. I'm sorry.
All right. See, that's what being a father of an infant child is like right there. That pretty much sums it up. And I can relate. I've been there. So
That's fine.
all right. So now I didn't really put these in any particular order here. I'm going to try to do. I think the only one I know what order it's in is the last category, the new category that you sent today. So we can talk about where we were right and where we were wrong and that kind of thing. Yeah. I will say this about this. I feel like I say this every year that we've done this. This will be the third time we've done this. And I feel like every year I say how hard it is to fill this thing out. Because there's more than one. There's more than one answer for almost every one of them.
Yeah. I had a tough time on a couple of them.
I really did too. So anyway, so we only picked one, but as we go through this list, if you want to throw somebody else in there that could fit that superlative as well, like an honorable mention or something.
I definitely have a couple where I want to talk about a few teams, but
yeah,
I just put one on my graphic. I came close to putting two, but then I was like, well, that defeats the purpose of superlatives.
I did think it was funny though. One of the spoiler alert here. One of the categories is most mediocre, and that's like half of the conference. So,
yes, I have something to say about that. Yeah, but yeah, that'll be interesting when we get to that one for sure.
I almost just put Coastal Division in there, but there's no more divisions. So, all right. Let's start with this one. Also, there's a typo on one of them. We'll get to that too. But that's fine.
Guy.
Yeah, the graphics guy. Sometimes I think you did it just to troll me, but it's fine. Best quarterback in the ACC. Of course, this is not a projection for 2024. This is from last season.
Yeah, I think this one was a runaway.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, the word best is kind of subjective. we were talking about, I guess, really which quarterback in the ACC had the best season, right? That's kind of what we were saying.
Yeah. I mean, you got to prove it on the field. Like, you could say, I guess the second closest would be Drake May, but I mean,
yeah,
and he's really good. It's just he can't carry his god awful team, So.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Travis before he got hurt was easily top 5 in the country and maybe top 3. So,
but if you could, if you wanted to, this could be, it's kind of open ended. Like if you wanted to do best, just who you think's the best. Like if you put them both on the same team, like who would do better?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I gave it to Jordan Travis. I mean, so you in that case you could say Drake May, but I gave it to Jordan Travis. He, senior guy. I mean, he's really good, and apparently losing him is so devastating that you get kicked out of the lose your spot in the playoffs for it. So.
Well, yeah, we talked, a lot about that, but
I'm still mad about that.
It is. I mean, he was probably responsible for. I know not technically, not every touchdown or whatever, but he was 90% of their offense. Yeah. I mean, you saw a huge drop off whenever he couldn't play. So anyway.
So yeah, I think this is pretty easy choice. I mean, you look around. I mean, there's not really a ton of other options. The only other thing would be Drake May. I think those are probably the only two acceptable answers to this question.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, Jack Plummer, no. Haynes King turned the damn ball over too many times.
Van Dyke.
Van Dyke got run out of town. Klubnik sucks. So Jordan Travis it is.
Yeah, I think this is the only one we agreed on. No, we agreed on one other one too.
Yeah. Which also was
Which also was very obvious.
Yeah.
Okay, so best quarterback, unanimous between Pigskin Pete and Sea-Dog. We both believe it was Jordan Travis last year, and I think that's pretty obvious. I can't imagine that there would be anybody that somebody else could name that we could even consider. And we're not talking about like who's going to make the best pro. I mean, that might end up being Drake May or, who knows.
Right. Yeah.
We're just talking about the season they had last year. So, all right, moving on. Who had the best season?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
just get it out of the way. Hey, look.
I mean, that's easy.
Past couple years, right? This superlative has been the Clemson Invitational. So.
Oh yeah.
This is the first ACC team in a long time to break Clemson's streak there.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably put their season up against everybody except for Michigan, Georgia. I mean, there's maybe 3 other teams in the entire country.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, they literally couldn't have done any better. So.
Yeah, they couldn't have done any better except for win their bowl game, but but their conference season, their regular season, it couldn't have done any better than that.
And much like, unlike the last one we were talking about, there's no wiggle room here. I mean, it's not even close.
Tar Heels for Life says he thinks that Pittsburgh had the best season.
Yeah. I think I got them down for worst season.
Yeah.
They were god awful, man. They were god awful.
They were pretty bad. All right, moving right in through these here.
We're giving Florida State their flowers. We're giving them their flowers.
I'm actually going to give them their flowers one more time here, but that'll be towards the end. All right, the biggest fall off. Now, the biggest fall off would be See, this is what like a lot of these you could just be like, okay, who had the best record, or who lost X amount of games more this year than they did last year. But that to me doesn't necessarily mean it's the biggest fall off.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I say some of this is subjective because
it's fine because I kind of did that. But I get where you're coming from. It's just subjective kind of.
Yeah.
I kind of left them a little bit open ended so you can interpret it kind of.
Well, I think that's the way superlatives are supposed to be. Like I said, when you do the superlatives in high school, I mean, if you vote who's best looking, that's subjective too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, as they say. So, I don't know. To me, actually, North Carolina might have been the biggest team to fall off during the season. Not necessarily from the year before. They came out of the gate kind of hot, and they just kind of fizzled out. You know what I mean? Towards the end.
They did that last year too. They did the exact same thing last year. The only difference is this year is they didn't lose however many in a row, simply because they had an FCS team in there. But they lost like 4 of their last 5 or something like that, just like they did last year. Unbelievable choke job. I mean, weren't they undefeated going into Pitt or going into Virginia? See, last year it was Georgia Tech that set into motion their collapse. This year it was Virginia.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's so funny, man.
I also think that there was a lot of expectations for North Carolina because it was, most likely Drake May's last season, and this was going to be the season that they won the ACC and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And, they fell apart.
Don't worry, though. We do have most hope going forward, and Jeff Collins at DC is going to fix everything right now. I'm sure that you guys have the most hope. Yeah. I'm sure you'll win that one, too.
Unfortunately, I know that the Jeff Collins thing is funny, but I don't think they do have a whole lot to look forward to for other reasons. Really?
Well, they're losing Drake May too, and he's been without Drake May the past couple of seasons, they're like a 6-6 team.
Yeah, that, and moving forward into beyond 2024 as well. I mean, I think this is going to be Mac Brown's last year if he even makes it through the season. Honestly.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of starting back over from square one. Now, if they go out and get a home run higher or something, I guess that could change that, but right now I think Mac Brown's name is what's keeping them relevant.
Yeah.
In recruiting trail and whatnot. So.
I don't think he's got much longer, either. So, for me, I picked Pitt. I kind of took it more literally. Like literally, they had the biggest discrepancy between their record. They went 3-9 this year, and they went like 8-5 last year. So. Pretty big, or they won 8 or 9 games last year. That's like the definition of
and then the year before that they won the ACC.
Yeah.
So they went from ACC champs to 9 wins to 3 wins.
Yeah. Just inexplicably horrible.
I almost put Pitt down too, but I figured that you were going to for that reason.
Well, if you would have Pitt, like I'll be honest, like I try to keep. If I'm like stuck between 2 teams, I'll err on the side of the one that you don't pick. So I try to keep it. I try to keep my kind of goal too, like a unwritten kind of goal I have is to talk about every team in the ACC in these videos at least once. Yeah,
that's hard in the superlatives because.
Yeah. We will bring up every team at least once. If you don't want a superlative, because not every team did, I'll bring it up because there's several contenders for each pick.
Yeah, I think we got most of them in here though, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right. So Pete says North Carolina. Sea-Dog says the obvious, Pittsburgh. All right. The biggest conference clown. Now, talk about subjectivity here. Now, I never saw Sea-Dog's picks until he sent me the graphics.
Yeah.
Now, I sent him my picks. He made the graphics. He sends me his and my picks back together. So, but when I'm making the picks, I'm trying to think about what is Sea-Dog going to pick here. And I already knew as soon as I saw this who you were going to pick.
If you would have put Miami, I would have still put Miami. But it's so obvious. I thought it was funny that you did put NC State because obviously,
Yeah, again, I think that anybody that knows me would have guessed that.
Now these are two pretty biased picks here.
These are very biased picks. I mean,
now,
listen,
I do have facts and logic to back up mine at least. Like Miami, besides the normal hype in the offseason, then they choke in the regular season, then they drastically underperform in the regular season. Besides just that routine that they do every year, Miami went above and beyond this year by having one of the most inexplicable losses of all time in college football to none other than my Yellow Jackets. And it will go that loss will go down in infamy for a long, long time. That's one for the books right there. And then of course they run their freaking quarterback out of town. They're just an overall disaster. And then lose to Rutgers in the Pinstripe Bowl. Total clowns, dude. Total clowns. Just take a knee, man. Just take a knee.
To me,
conference clown if I ever seen it.
To me, there wasn't like a lot. I think there would be some people would say Clemson.
Yeah. There's a couple contenders. You could say North Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina.
Or choking the way they did.
Pittsburgh's another one.
Pittsburgh, yeah, because they just literally suck so bad. There's like several contenders, but what really put it over the Miami over the line there is the take a knee thing. Like, come on, that is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And people still give them shit about it. So funny.
Yeah.
Man.
So conference clown is really this is very fan specific category here, because if you ask, like if you ask Slim Shady's a resident Miami fan on here. If you asked him, he's going to say Florida State.
Well, that's not even something I considered was Florida State and then the whole playoff thing. But I think someone who thought Alabama belonged in the playoffs might put Florida State as conference clown because of the way that their fans acted and everything. But honestly, all of that to me was justified. Like all the complaining that Florida State fans did to me, they definitely got screwed. So.
Oh yeah, I would have been just as mad as they were.
And then the biggest blowout loss in bowl game history. I mean.
Now that was kind of clownish there. That the fact that the team basically quit once they didn't get in the playoff.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like I don't know. I don't really. I mean, yeah, your players quit, but they shouldn't have been in that position in the first place.
Yeah, I agree.
It is what it is. But yeah, this is definitely subjective. But I think that just for the take a knee thing, because I did make Miami conference clown last year too. They're just usually are by default because they get hyped up so much and then they always fail to meet expectations.
Yeah, I think it's a solid pick. For me, I think we've done conference clown every year, right? For these superlatives.
We've only done the postseason twice, I think. So this is the second time we're doing the postseason one.
I'm pretty sure
Last
I picked.
Year, you pissed me off by picking Georgia Tech.
Oh, I did. I was about to say the biggest conference clown. I would have thought I picked NC State every year.
No, you picked Georgia Tech, and I was in the woods, and it was this huge argument. It was one of the funnier moments on the show.
Oh.
We argued for so long about it, and it was pretty funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this. Whether NC State, the football team, on any given year is the conference clown or not is irrelevant. Their head coach is the biggest conference clown in the ACC, according to me.
Of course.
So, I happily put NC State down for that one.
I'm sure.
I don't even care what their record was.
Mario's a bigger clown. Come on.
Well, yeah. Well, what about Manny Diaz? Because he's back in the ACC now.
No, that's funny.
Maybe.
I guess Mario is a bigger clown for the knee thing and some of the other things he does. But you think Manny's a bigger clown than Mario?
Well, we'll find out.
We will.
We'll find out.
I want Manny to beat Miami so bad. Can you imagine the outrage?
Oh God, the internet might break. The internet might break.
That would be the most incredible thing to ever happen.
I would immediately tune in to the Coach Coop show. I know that.
I would go check out the Touchdown Tim article.
Oh yeah.
That would be one for the Don't they play? Do they play this year?
You know what? I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, look it up. I don't know.
Because that would be just incredible. But either way, Manny Diaz would not be in contention for this because he didn't get hired, of course, until the end of the season.
Yeah.
But I think Mario's a bigger clown just for the stupid things he does on field.
I think before Mario, back when Jeff Collins was still at Georgia Tech, he might have been the biggest clown coach.
Collins? Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. A lot of the things that Jeff Collins did, we didn't find out until kind of either towards the end or after he left. If I would have known about some of that stuff, I wouldn't have defended him. Like, he had our guys chasing each other around in practice with pool noodles.
Yeah, I know you told me that.
And it's like, if I would have known that shit was going down, I would have.
What? First of all, what is that supposed to do? I mean, what are you working on? Like, what kind of drill is that?
Okay, this is incredible. They do play Duke.
Oh, they do. Okay, good.
Yes.
Where is that? Is it in Miami?
I just closed the window. I didn't look where it was. But where did they play this past year? Do you know? I think it was at Miami.
Duke plays at Miami on November the 2nd, so it is in Miami.
Okay, cool.
That makes it even better.
Like
when Clemson plays Florida State this year, because they will play Florida State this year, because guess what? They'll still be in the ACC this year. I was hoping that it was going to be in Clemson because, you know, DJ is going to be their quarterback.
Yeah.
So that would have been great to have DJ back in Death Valley for that game, but it didn't work out that way.
We had in 2022, our leading receiver left to go to North Carolina because he got a big NIL deal there. And whenever he took the field and caught his first catch at Georgia Tech, because they played us at Georgia Tech this year, everybody booed.
Yeah.
And he recorded one catch for 2 yards in that game and a loss. So
see,
grass isn't always greener.
If DJ came back into Clemson to play a game against Clemson, the fans wouldn't boo him. He's pretty universally liked by Clemson people.
Well, it's different when he leaves because he wasn't very good there versus your best player leaving to take an NIL deal.
Yeah, I don't blame him for leaving at all. I would have left if I was him too.
Yeah.
And plus,
because most people wanted him to leave, you know.
Yeah, well, there's that too. Yeah.
Derek Allen left because he didn't play. He went to Georgia Tech too and played against us, so nobody booed him because he wasn't any good here. So,
it is going to be weird for me. I mean, obviously, I'm going to talk shit about DJ and Florida State all season long because they're Florida State. But there's a part of me that still wants him to succeed for some reason. I just like him as a person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now I hope when Clemson marches down to Tallahassee that they beat them 100-0, and he throws 5 picks. But
where do you think Klubnik's going to transfer to?
Yeah, I don't know. He seems like the kind of guy. He'll stay there. He'll probably end up being there for 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm serious.
Riding the bench?
No, playing.
He won't get benched.
Playing.
No.
So, we'll see. All right, so there you go. Biggest conference clown, NC State for Pete, and Miami for Sea-Dog. What's next here?
Run away.
Now this is the one I laughed at when I went to try to pick, because it's half the conference, maybe more. I mean, I don't know. I think the ACC had the most bowl teams, but most of those teams were barely bowl eligible. So
now I have something to say about this.
Yeah.
Normally, it seems like yes, there's a bunch of teams that aren't really bad or very good at all. They're just kind of in the middle. But this year, it was much harder to make this pick, I think, because most of the teams in the 6 or 7 win range like they, like for example, your pick Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech, or your pick Virginia Tech and then Georgia Tech too. They have the same record. Both of those teams like really sucked last year, so this was good years for them. Is kind of how I looked at it. If you look at it in the grand scheme, yeah, 7-6 is definitely mediocre.
Yeah. So,
but for me, I kind of looked at kind of the expectations and where the team was. That's how I kind of wound up on Clemson.
Yeah. I mean, you could put Virginia as a mediocre team. You could put Boston College as a mediocre team. Wake Forest was a mediocre team.
Virginia.
I mean,
Virginia went 3-9.
I don't necessarily disagree with your pick either. If you're doing it based off of recent success, then by Clemson standards, it was definitely a mediocre season. I mean, 4 losses in a regular season is mediocre for the Tigers for sure.
That's kind of where I was at. But I think we had this agreement last year. Mediocre does not mean bad. It means just middle of the road.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
not bad or good. Virginia went 3-9. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Right.
Was it 3? Was it 3-9 or 4-8? Either way, that's still terrible.
3-9. I've got the records pulled up here. Boston College, you could say, but I kind of didn't. Boston College, Virginia Tech, and Georgia Tech all went 7-6, but I kind of didn't really count them, and Syracuse too, for that matter, because none of those teams were expected to be any good. So the fact that they kind of made it to a bowl and, had a winning season, I kind of, I gave them a little leeway for that. But yeah, in the grand scheme, those could all be mentioned.
For me, the reason I picked Virginia Tech instead of some of those other ones I just named, and any of those would have been just fine with me if I would have picked them too, has more to do with Virginia Tech being mediocre for a long period of time now. And I feel like what you said was true. I mean, they took a step up this past season from the season before, which isn't hard to do. The season before that, what were they? 3 wins? 2 wins? Whatever, it was terrible.
I think 4. Yeah.
And so are they moving in the right direction? I don't know, because I feel like we've seen this movie with them 100 times.
Well,
and
I guess you're not a buyer on Virginia Tech because a lot of people are high on them. Said they had a good season this past year and they're expecting them to be back. I mean, people are talking about them like they were talking about Louisville.
Yeah, I know. And I was 100% wrong on that. So maybe I'm wrong on this too. I don't know. Virginia Tech is a team to me. I need to see it before I believe it. And yeah,
let me tell you something that bothers me. Virginia Tech is getting all this love from these like national media types, like Josh Pate. Even Uncle Lou was talking about. He was talking about them possibly going to the ACC championship next year.
Who, Tech?
And Virginia Tech, yeah.
Oh wow.
And it bothers me because we literally had the exact same season as them, and no one's given us that love. It pisses me off. Like we both went 7-6. We both lost to a group of 5 team. We both won our bowl game against a good opponent. And everybody's giving them the love for some reason. I don't know, and it pisses me off.
Yeah, I don't think Virginia Tech has a chance to win the ACC, but we've seen crazier things. I mean, nobody. Well, I say nobody. I didn't, and I know you didn't expect to see Louisville in that game this year. So who knows?
No, we could be wrong, but they are getting a lot of love. I've seen. They're kind of like the darlings of the off season.
Yeah.
Right now, and it makes me mad.
Yeah. I kind of would like them to be good again, just for the better of the conference, really, and they're a big brand.
I'd like for us to both get better because we play them at Lane Stadium towards the end of the year. That could possibly be a somewhat of a big game if we both have a decent amount of wins. Hopefully we're both better than last year. But
so anyway, I picked Virginia Tech. C-Dog picked the Tigers, and unfortunately, I don't.
You could also say North Carolina too.
North Carolina, Miami. That's why I said it's like half the conference.
I took it easy on Duke because my original pick was Duke because, they were kind of expected to do something and they went 8-5, That's pretty good for Duke. So I didn't, but they just kind of fell short of what they, I think, wanted to achieve this season, right?
I know. I feel like, honestly, outside of Florida State last year, the most of the conference was mediocre, by definition.
Yeah, if you're looking at it in the grand scheme of things, almost anybody could be on this list.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, not Florida State. They had a great year, but
there's only a few. Yeah, Florida State, Louisville, and I would say NC State all had good years, and then there's a couple that there's Wake Forest, Virginia, and Pittsburgh that had horrible years, but everyone else in the conference, it could be included in this. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams.
Yeah.
In the conference that could be considered mediocre.
I agree. Before we move on to the next superlative, we'll take a brief time out here and talk about something else that's in the news right now. Did you hear the news? And this comes from Sportsmark in the chat about the playoff format, the new playoff format.
I didn't.
So, well, one of the things I was reading about had more to do with Notre Dame than anything, because they've approved that the highest ranked the 4 highest ranked conference champs are automatically going to be seeds 1 through 4, no matter what. So even if Notre Dame goes into Selection Sunday ranked number 1 in the country, they can't get anything higher than a 5 seed.
Good.
Now there's people speculating, is this what will get them to join a conference? And the answer is no. I mean, if I was a Notre Dame fan, I wouldn't be happy about it. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it's gonna. I don't think that's enough to get them to join a conference. Well, at least not in the short term. Not now. So.
Well, Notre Dame's a special snowflake, so they get they're gonna hold out as long as they can without it. But watch them. I mean, what it would take to get Notre Dame left out of the playoffs is to join a conference is if during the 14 playoff they had gone undefeated and didn't make the playoffs because there was other highly ranked.
Yeah, 5 and 7 is the format. 5 and 7 is the format, but like I said, the highest ranked 4 conference champions automatically get 1 through 4 seed. So Tom DeMay says, I am a Notre Dame fan and I am happy about it. He says it works for Notre Dame's benefit, hosts some playoff games, hopefully usually against 11 or 12 seeds where Notre Dame can get a nice win and get rolling. What you'll never have is a bye.
Yeah.
And that's an extra game that you have to win in the playoffs to get a national championship.
Then you got to play the 1 through 4 seed. I guess you would play the 1 seed, right? If you're number 5? I'd have to look at the bracket. But
well, no, I think 5 would play 12, 6 would play 11, so on and so forth.
Second round.
Yeah.
You would be on the side where you have to play now. You have to play the 1 seed. No, you would play the 4 seed. I think you'd be on the 4 seed side. And you got to play the 4 seed, and they're coming off of a bye. So they get extra time to prepare for you.
Right.
So I'm sure that'll work great for Notre Dame.
Oh, I know that fans don't have anything to do with them being independent, but pressure from the fans can sway an athletic department. So.
If I'm telling you, like, if they during the 14 playoff, if they would have got left out after going undefeated, they would have probably joined the conference, but that's not happening anymore.
Who's whining about Notre Dame? I'm pointing out the obvious that they don't have a chance to get a bye in the playoffs or not being in a conference. How is that whining?
He's probably talking to me.
Oh, well, okay.
Because I don't like Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Because they think they're so freaking special.
Moving on.
Yeah.
All right. So, which team has the most hope in the future? Now, when I read this, I interpreted this to be the immediate future. Yeah. I mean, when I say immediate future, I'm talking about the next 3 to 4 seasons.
We're sucking Florida State off a lot here. I probably should have picked something different for this one.
Well, believe me, I did not want to put them down here. I would have much rather put Clemson down, but
I would too. I couldn't bring myself to do it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, now again, with all the stuff that's going on with Florida State trying to get out of the ACC, who knows how that's all going to play out in the next 3 or 4 years.
Well, if you're talking about as far as realignment, I think Clemson and Florida State are in the best position of anyone in the ACC because obviously they're two very sought-after programs when it comes to realignment. So,
but I just think from a standpoint of recruiting and the transfer portal, that Florida State is in a good position to have not just a season like they had last. I'm not saying they're going to go undefeated every year. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is I think they're in a prime position to have a string of good seasons put together, not just one.
Yeah, no, me too. They're built for success there, for having a successful program.
Yeah.
Get off me. Get off me.
So I don't know. That was fairly easy to me. Now, if you had to pick somebody other than Florida State for this, who would it be?
Oh, geez. Pop quiz. You go ahead and give me yours. I gotta look through the standings here. You got Louisville. Well, I probably Louisville, maybe. What do you think? As much as it makes me sick. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I might even consider Miami.
Why?
I mean, because I do think Mario Cristobal was a good hire, and he will get them to competing for the conference.
Well, that's interesting that you said he's the biggest clown, and now you're also saying that
he is because he does dumb things. And that's the thing is, he can get – well, just look at him at Oregon. There was a ceiling on him, but he was competing for the conference every year and won it a few times, right? He won it once or twice. So, I mean, he can do that, I think. I as much as I hate to say it, but I'm just having fun with it in the meantime. I'm kind of enjoying it while it lasts. I think, in my opinion, it probably won't last forever.
I think Louisville's a fair one, but again, that's another team that I need to see more than just one good season.
Yeah, now I will say Jeff Brom is a hell of a coach, and it's his alma mater, right? So I don't think they got to worry about him like getting poached. I would assume that's a destination job for him.
I would be highly surprised if he went somewhere else. Now, if for some reason he turned Louisville into a perennial top 10 team, there would be a lot of teams trying to get him out of there, for sure. That maybe can pay him more than Louisville can. I don't know, but in the near future, I'd say he's their guy.
Yeah.
And I don't see him leaving. I would put Clemson in this category too. I know. Listen. Are they the Clemson that made the 6 playoffs in a row and 2 national championships? Now, no, they're not anymore. But it's still a very solid program that's not going away.
Yeah.
They need to make some minor adjustments. Yeah, I think we all know exactly what I'm talking about. But I think they have hope. I mean, there is that. At least I do.
Yeah, I would say that's the only contenders for this. I would say Florida State, maybe Clemson.
Now,
Miami.
I'm surprised you didn't put your own team in this category because I know that personally, deep down, Sea-Dog has hope.
Well, of course I have hope, but when you're talking about most hope in all of the conference, I mean, there's definitely programs that are in a way better spot than Georgia Tech. And, I have a lot of hope, but I don't, there's still a lot of questions I have too. So,
yeah.
When you're talking, we're talking about superlatives here. You could say the same for Virginia Tech. A lot of people have hope for Virginia Tech that they found something in Brent Pry. But isn't that funny? We have Brent Key and Brent Pry at Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech. But I went with the superlatives. I'm not some kind of homer here.
Oh, right, yeah. Nobody would ever accuse you of that at all.
Listen. I'm still. I know. I don't know if I know it wasn't like some huge spectacle because I was at the game, but that Bowling Green loss really took a lot out of me.
Oh, I know.
It really, really hurt me.
Oh, I saw the pain on your face. That can't be faked.
No.
No, I listen. Any college football fan knows that look. We can all relate to it at some point.
So, the honeymoon phase, okay, ended with me there with Brent Key, and he's got, he's not a superhero. I think I was so high on him because literally he did everything right, but he could have done as an interim. He did it right. Like he got the absolute most out of our team as an interim, and there was shortcomings this year, mainly on the defensive side of the ball, and I just have some reservations, but I do have hope. I'm just cautiously optimistic, as I say.
What are you guys returning and what are you losing that worries you? I mean, how's that looking?
Okay, so I'm stoked on our offense. We're bringing back. We're gonna have at least like a top 3 offensive line in the conference. We're going to have a filthy offensive line. We return almost everybody. We lost one guy, but we bring in a transfer that a lot of guys wanted. Clemson wanted him.
Oh yeah, I know.
From Middle Tennessee State.
Yeah.
We brought in him, and then we brought in 2 4-star offensive linemen, or it was like a 4-star and a high 3-star. Like also a guy Clemson wanted. So.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, so we're bringing in we are stacked and deep at offensive line. So I'm really excited for that. Bring back all of our receivers. Of course, we bring back quarterback. We bring back our running backs. We got so many promising. I am so excited for the offense. It's the defense that I'm concerned. Almost the entire D line room left, and we haven't replaced it. I don't know how we're going to get any kind of pass rush at all next year.
That can be a problem.
I have no idea. We have literally nothing. And now we did have a real senior guy that was hurt all year this year, so he's coming back next year. And then we have, a guy or 2 left over, and we took like 1 or 2 transfers, but we lost 8 guys, and we only brought in 2 or 3. So it's concerning to me. And linebacker, not much better. I feel good about, safety, and then cornerback is okay. We brought in a transfer, but it's the defensive side that I have questions about. Offense, I think we're going to be awesome on offense. But I definitely have, and we have an entire new defensive staff. So.
You play. Where is it here? I'm trying to look for which offenses you need to worry about next year on your schedule. So you've got Georgia State, Syracuse, VMI.
We have Florida State right off the bat.
Yeah. So you have to worry about that. You have to worry about Louisville probably.
Oh yeah.
I don't know too much. I need to look into Duke more before I make a determination on them. North Carolina without Drake May. Notre Dame.
We are their daddy, so I'm not worried about them.
And you did get that transfer from Texas, Malik Murphy, the quarterback.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Duke did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what Manny Diaz can do there. I mean, it's not like he's taking over a hopeless situation. I don't know how many transfers they had out, but.
Well, I know they had the most veteran defense in the ACC last year, so they probably lose a lot of their defense, and that was really the strong suit of their team last year.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but you get Notre Dame in Atlanta. It looks like, yeah.
In the bins, of course.
October the 19th. That ought to be good.
That'll be great.
Then at Virginia Tech, then Miami and Atlanta, then NC State in Atlanta, and then at Georgia. So there you go. I don't know.
Yeah, we play some good offenses.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm concerned.
That might be a problem.
Yeah. Oh, this guy brings up, Tom DeMay said the best Sea Dog had last year was when the guy called him a fair weather fan. Yeah, at the Bowling Green game. That was the same game. This guy, I was leaving and this guy said, fair weather fan. Because I was leaving in the third quarter. I was like,
you should have been like, do you have a YouTube channel based on Georgia Tech football, sir? I don't think so.
I made a video about it and the guy commented on it. He found
Oh, he did?
Yes. And I was like, and I'm like, it makes it even worse that you know who I am. Because I assumed he didn't know I was Sea Dog.
Yeah.
You know? But it made it even worse that he knew who I was and still called me that. Like, hello.
Listen, anybody who shows up to watch Georgia Tech play Bowling Green's not a Fairweather fan. I'm sorry.
I'm not, dude, and I left in the third quarter after we had just thrown a pick six. Like, I was not about to. I left for the safety of myself and the people around me.
There wasn't a single person that went to watch that game that you can consider a Fairweather fan, even if they only stayed for 2 minutes.
Yeah, what fair weather has there been? There's been none.
No.
It's all gone. It's been treacherous for a long time. So.
Yeah, nothing worse than the fan police, man. I can't stand them either.
There's none left. So yeah, I did make a video addressing that guy, and he responded. That was funny.
All right. Well, for those of you who didn't figure it out already, we did just get joined by our resident Miami fan, one Slim Shady Kane, so he can go through and give us his opinion on the rest of these as we go through them here.
Can we get a retroactive pick from Slim? I want to know his conference clown.
Yeah. All right, yeah. Okay, we can do that. Slim, conference clown. We're talking about
clown.
Yeah, team, not a. Well, in my case, I kind of did pick a person. I picked NC State because of Dave Dorn, but.
Right, that's kind of to be expected.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. You know who I picked, Slim?
At this point, considering what's happened in the off season, I kind of got to give it to Boston College. When he's above this, I'll take it. When your head coach takes a demotion in the NFL,
okay,
it's like, screw you, I'm done with y'all.
Yeah.
He's still not over
up there.
He's still not over the Doug Flutie thing.
So Slim says Boston College is conference clown because Jeff Hafley left to go take a coordinator position in the NFL instead of being a head coach in college.
That's pretty bad.
It is pretty bad. But it is Boston College, too. It's not like he left, you know, I don't know. It's not the best job.
I feel like there's better choices. I thought you'd say Florida State with getting blown out so bad and the playoff thing. And
that's what I thought he was going to say, too. That was a layup.
I expected Florida State to get blown out because, I mean, literally all their mercs threw up the deuces and said they were gone.
Yeah.
Well, North Carolina is a sleeper pick for this, too, because of how they keep choking every year. They have, like, a really good year up until they inexplicably lose to a bad team, and then they completely fall off. They're a sleeper pick for Conference Clown.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
And then on top of then when you add on top of that, the fact that Mac Brown looks like the old man that ate the young Mac Brown.
He's the Joe Biden of college football. He doesn't know where he's at. So, all right. I just was curious what you had to say.
What about this one that we just picked? Most hope in the future. Slim, what do you think about that?
Well, I'm gonna have to nominate my own Miami Hurricanes for that one.
You and me both.
Yeah. The Sea Dogs credit.
Especially considering we're on the cusp of our first ACC title in football this year.
Well, to be fair, I haven't heard you say that before, but that seems like an every year type of thing for most Miami fans to say that.
Yes, and for most Miami fans, you're right. But you're also correct that I have never called that.
All right.
I am this year.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I don't pretend to know more about Miami than Slim does, though. So, and he's not one of those people that comes on and pumps sunshine constantly either. So,
That's true.
You know. All right, moving on. Most improved. So what this is, I'm assuming, is most improved. This is the way I picked it anyway. Most improved from 2022 to 2023, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I had to take my medicine and eat my crow, as Edward would say. Here. So, I mean, I lost $50 to Sea Dog. And Georgia Tech, not only did Georgia Tech make a bowl, which I said they wouldn't, but they won their bowl game.
Yeah, kicked their ass, too.
Kicked their ass, too. So.
They did.
Now, honestly, there's 2 or 3 teams you could put in this category as well, but I picked Georgia Tech because I besmirched the good name of the Yellow Jackets the entire offseason, and they outperformed what I said they were going to do. So.
Oh yeah. Well, Matt, respect to you, Pete. Respect to you. I think I went with Boston College because I thought they won like 2 games last year. They went 7-6. I thought that they were going to be horrible and have their coach fired, but they outperformed my expectations too. So I gave them the nod.
They almost handed Florida State a loss too. Remember that early in the season?
Oh yeah. They were a decent team. Well, as far as ACC standards, but yeah, they're decent. So I give it to them.
All right, you got a pick for that, Slim?
Yeah, so just to keep. I don't disagree with your Georgia Tech pick, but just to put somebody different there, I think somebody being overlooked would have to be Virginia Tech.
Yeah. I think the most obvious choice is Louisville, but
pretty decent year last year too. They won like 8 games or something. So Louisville too for sure. But I have them down for a couple.
That's why I didn't pick them. But I think the Virginia Tech pick is
Virginia
fair.
Tech. Like I said, they had literally the same season as us. And they were bad last year too. So yeah, they're pretty much the same as Georgia Tech.
All right, there you have it.
Oh.
All right, moving on. Okay, so this is this is where your typo. I think it's a typo. It says team we were right wrong about.
Oh.
So I did the team.
This is teams we were right about.
Okay. Well, I don't know if there was a wrong one on here that I got
guy. Come
from
on,
you.
Man.
Anyway, I was right. Now, to be fair, I wasn't right that I thought that Florida State was going to win the ACC undefeated and have a chance to make the playoffs. I didn't predict that, but I'm almost positive that I had them going 10-2. So out of all the other teams in the conference, I was probably closest to picking the record of Florida State than any other team.
I remember you taking your victory laps about how you were the only one to pick them to beat LSU.
That is true. Twice. And I was right both times.
You were right. You were right.
So I was most right about Florida State. And, well, we'll do the did you send me the wrong one?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, we'll see here in a second. I don't remember putting that one in here, though. But
I'm going to have to give the graphics guy talking to.
So explain your pick, Sea-Dog.
Of course I was right. I screamed and screamed into the ether last offseason about how we were going to be improved and we were going to and watch out and all this and that about my Yellow Jackets. So I just want to say that I was right. Now, I did go a little overboard to pick us to win like 8 games.
You weren't too far off.
But we won 7.
Yeah.
So, So I feel like I was right. And
That'll be fair. I gave you your props a minute ago. I wasn't that far off on Georgia Tech either. I said 5. That's only 2 games off.
Yeah.
So now I had
one game off in the regular season. I mean,
yeah.
Can't really predict bowl games preseason.
I was 2 games off. I kind of did the homer pick though because I thought if I had to pick for real, I did because I did a schedule prediction and I picked us to win 8 games. But if I had to pick for real, I probably would have picked us to win 7. But Rec Talk had already picked us to win 7, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go crazy.
Well, in retrospect, that wasn't a terrible pick because I mean, you should have beat Bowling Green. That would have been your 8th win right there.
And then.
Yeah, but I mean, they in essence did lose to Miami.
Well, that's great and all, but we didn't. But Boston College was one that we probably wish we could have back too.
That's like me saying that Clemson beat Miami because Cade Klubnik was a bonehead.
Well, no. I mean, Don Chaney didn't fumble the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was unclear.
Well, Slim, who were you the most right about last year?
I mean, I was only a game off of my prediction for Miami. I picked 8. They won 7.
Well, that's pretty good. That's pretty close. I think I had Clemson going 11-1. They were 8-4.
Right, yeah, that was the one I was farthest off on.
Yeah.
I was too. I thought they'd be in the playoffs.
Well, I think a lot of people were off on that one.
We'll get to that. I think there's another one called Team We Were Wrong Right About, and that one we're gonna we're gonna talk about Clemson for sure.
Yeah, it is here. I guess I just don't remember putting it up. Now, this was simple for me because I spent the entire offseason when everybody else was running around talking about Louisville this, Louisville that, and I told them they were all crazy.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, they made the ACC championship game.
There was no other choice for this one. I've never been so wrong about Louisville, dude. They were legit this year.
Yeah, and I was wrong on Clemson. I had them, actually, I think even going undefeated. I don't think I had them losing a game and making the playoffs.
So I was wrong about Louisville big time, but I was also wrong about Clemson. I thought that they would make the playoffs. And I was wrong about Florida State, too. I said that they were going to be good, but not quite good enough to get, to the undefeated and playoffs era. But no, they were actually really good. So,
I could put Clemson here as well. I was very wrong about them, obviously. I was off by 3 games and a conference championship because I had them winning the ACC, too. So I was off by 4 games, technically. But I think I was off by way more than that with Louisville. I had Louisville at like 4-8. So
I did too, man.
Well, I may have been even. What was Boston College's record? Or were they the one? No, that was last year. I did that at Boston College.
Yeah, they went 7-6.
I think I did it at Georgia Tech. So yeah, I was off by 6 games on them.
That's right.
But that was also a troll.
Sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, you got to pay me too, don't you, at the Slav Olympics?
Do what?
He said what?
Yeah. Actually, and that I was just thinking about that too. I was like, well, fuck, since Rec isn't coming, I guess I'm just gonna have to PayPal it to him or whatever. I gotta text him, see what he wants.
Somebody get a hold of Bulldog Brian too. He still owes me $25.
For what?
I saw him in somebody's chat.
He bet me the same bet that you guys did, and I won, but I hadn't seen him.
Man, all these bet welchers out here.
I'm not saying he's a bet welcher. I just hadn't seen him.
Well, I mean,
I saw him in Lou's chat for one of the morning shows here.
It's been like 4 months.
I know. I'm sure he forgot about it, but I'm sure he'd send it to me. Now, if I asked him to send it to me, he said no, then I'd run around calling him a bet watcher. But I just haven't seen him.
I don't know. I think after 4 months, I wouldn't expect to see the money. So that's just me.
Well, I expect to see it if I see him again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was $25.
Yeah, I haven't seen him around lately. I haven't seen him around since he lost that bet. See, there you go.
I haven't seen him since, like, we made the bet, really. I don't know. But.
Oh, I hope he's okay. All right. Most surprising team, and in a good way is what you meant by that, right? Not surprisingly bad.
Yeah, in a good way, yeah.
All right. Again.
Yeah.
Same as pick is the last one for me is Louisville, and it looks like you agree with me on that too.
A lot of people weren't surprised on this, I guess, but like I said, like I totally did not see what people were seeing in Louisville. Usually, whenever everyone has like a darling in the off season,
yeah, usually they're wrong.
It doesn't have. Yeah, usually they're wrong. They just weren't. I'm blown away because I don't know how many times I've, people have been like, oh, look out for this team. They're a sleeper. They're a dark horse, and they suck.
Well, do we have a surprising in a bad way? Because that's who I was fixing to go with.
No,
Well,
we could do that. I don't really know why I didn't do it, but
Well, fuck it. I'm going surprising in a bad way, just because I'm going rogue and that's what I'm doing.
well, give us both. Give us both.
Well, surprising in a bad way, Pitt.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could say Clemson too.
I would say Wake Forest. I don't know what they went 4-8, 1-7 in conference. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, but I mean, you don't lose a guy like Sam Hartman. For as good as Clawson has done, Sam Hartman's the best quarterback he's had come through there.
I know, but Wake Forest, every single year they get their good guys post. They had that Kenneth Walker go to Michigan State, and like it just over and over it happens to them. Like they're an elite. They are elite at talent evaluation, and they'll pull some 3-star out of their ass.
Yeah.
No one's ever heard of.
Yeah, they're
them.
good at talent evaluation and development too, or Dave Clawson is.
Exactly,
But it's hard to keep those guys there.
Yeah, and I thought that that would kind of just continue. Now, I mean, at Wake Forest, you're probably due for a 4-8 season every once in a while. So.
I 100% agree with that. Yeah.
Now you say that it's hard to keep those guys there. Now hindsight being 2020, is Sam Hartman wishing he'd have stayed at Wake Forest another year?
Well, that's a good point. Really.
That Mitch Griffiths guy sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, he really sucks. He turned the ball over like crazy.
Yeah, I know all about that.
Yeah. So that would be my pick. I guess from now on we could do most surprising in a bad way. I don't know. I don't know why I didn't do that.
Or you can do both.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Did you give a most surprising in a good way pick, Slim?
I mean, I guess I'd go with Louisville. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think they'd be making the ACC title game by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, me either.
We were all non-believers here.
All right, moving on. What happened there?
I'll tell you, NC State could be a contender for surprising in a good way too. I know you don't want to hear that.
Now, this is another one that you could so the category for this one's worst season. Now, the easiest thing to do is look and see who had the worst record and say they had the worst season.
Yeah.
And that's just a fact. That's not really an opinion. To me, though, Syracuse vastly underperformed what I thought they were going to do. And it's so much so that they fired their, who I think is a really good head coach in Dino Babers. Now, but Sea-Dog, and I think it was Sea-Dog or somebody else pointed out after that firing happened exactly how abysmal his postseason record was at Syracuse. And not even his postseason record, it was really his overall record. Mm-hmm. He had a couple of decent seasons.
Yeah.
I guess it's because during his time there, they at least had some formidable teams that people talked about, which is not something you hear out of Syracuse very often.
Yeah.
Not since
I don't know why
Donovan McNabb?
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't realize how bad his record was. I don't know why I give him such leeway.
Well, they had like a 9-win season one year. They beat Clemson a couple times, when Clemson was at the top of the college football world, not like they were last year. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's kind of the reason why. That the opinion of Dino Babers was higher than his actual record. It reflected,
Right.
But
looks like he's OC at Arizona right now. That's interesting.
Yeah. And Sea-Dog picked Pittsburgh, which is the obvious choice. I mean,
they were awful. I was torn between them and Virginia.
Yeah.
Virginia was awful, and then Wake Forest too. I think those three just had the worst seasons of everybody.
Yes, but if you take into account everything from the situation with Virginia, going back to last season, like I gotta give Virginia some credit. Like, okay, their record wasn't great, but nobody blew them out. That was a scrappy team.
Georgia Tech did. We beat them 17-45.
Well, I didn't mean literally.
No, I know. And they did get a win over North Carolina, too. And Pitt got a win over Louisville. and Boston College. So I don't know. Maybe Wake Forest then, because they just maybe I should have put Wake Forest because they literally beat Elon, Vanderbilt, Old Dominion, and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Awful, man.
Yeah.
Awful.
That would be my pick is Wake.
I think any of those are the right pick. I didn't think Syracuse was going to be any good this year, and so I kind of didn't consider them. But you could say Syracuse firing the coach, but I do think that they made a decent hire. I mean, this guy has been recruiting really well there at Syracuse,
And that's what they need.
Yeah. So
I'm really interested to see what he's going to do there.
yeah.
Now, again, I don't really know that much about their roster and their coordinator situation.
They're top 25 in transfer rankings.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
He's
and they got what's his face from Ohio State. Yeah.
Oh, I don't think he was a bad quarterback.
I don't think he was terrible either. I don't think he was great, but he wasn't terrible. Well, first of all, he's going to be immediately the best quarterback that Syracuse has had in a while. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, from what I've heard, and now granted this is just Twitter rumors, but his dad wanted like a guarantee that he was going to be the starting quarterback at Ohio State next year.
That does make sense. I mean, it's weird. It's not like that was a weird thing. You just don't see it usually go down like that. Like, he was the starting quarterback all throughout the year. He never got benched. There was never like any worry of him getting benched or whatever. And then he transferred.
Well, the backup got put up in the he got put in the bowl game.
He did?
yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
and played worse.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what'd you
Granted,
expect?
I mean, the guy hadn't played any meaningful time all year.
No, and I'm pretty sure Ohio State was disappointed with their season. They had some opt-outs and stuff too.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. If you're looking at again, you could put Clemson. They didn't have the worst season. They won 8 games, but based on expectation, they had a pretty bad season.
I would say mediocre. If Clemson went like 6-6, you could put them at worst season. But
Yeah.
come on.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's not bad. Even for Clemson, like I know that.
And they won their last 5 games in a row, including the bowl game.
Yeah.
So,
They had a strong finish.
yeah, the middle of the season was brutal.
You guys turned the corner right as we freaking played you. Pissed me off.
Yeah. All right. What happened there? Is that it? I guess that's it.
No.
Yeah.
Do we have teams we were most wrong about? No?
Yeah, we did that already.
Team we were right, wrong about. We need teams that we were wrong, right about.
We did.
We did.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's right.
There's we both had Louisville with most wrong about, and we both had, or no, I had Florida State about right, and you had Georgia Tech about right.
Oh, we have hope. Least and most hope going forward. Do you have that one?
I'm out. I'm out of them.
Yeah, we did that one because I said most hope going forward would be
Yeah.
Miami.
Yeah, we did that one.
Their recruit.
Oh, we did? Did we do least hope? I don't think we did least hope.
Well, let me just here. We'll do this. I'm pretty sure we did all of them, dude. But
I messed that one up too.
all right. So there's what we were right and wrong about. What's going on here? Most surprising.
I did make a graphic for least hope going forward.
Most improved. Most hope in the future. Most mediocre. Conference clown. Biggest fall off.
Yeah.
And best season and best quarterback. That was all of them.
Oh, that's weird. Well, I did least hope. I have it here in my folder. Maybe I didn't send it or something, but do we want to do least hope going forward? I think your pick was Virginia.
Oh, yeah, I do remember picking that now, yeah. I don't have it, though.
I have the graphic here in my folder.
It's all right. We'll just pick it.
Yeah.
Fucking graphics
Least hope,
guy.
I messed it up. I messed it up anyway because I put Virginia Tech for some reason, which is not what I think. I messed my own pick up.
Are you sure I did pick Virginia?
Yeah, you picked Virginia.
Huh.
Yeah.
That was another one I had a hard time because there was 2 or 3 teams that I thought I could put there. North Carolina being a glaring one.
Wait, no. Least hope going forward. Oh, wait, this is weird. Okay, I was way wrong about that. I think I meant to put my least hope going forward would be Virginia. I've messed it all up. So if you did them respectively in our text, I'm looking back at our text.
Yeah.
It looks like you said least hope going forward was Louisville.
Yeah, no.
That's strange.
No, that was the team I was most wrong about.
Oh. Okay, so you said, okay, you're right.
Yeah.
Boston College is what you said had the least hope going forward. Sorry.
Yeah, I think I did pick Boston College. That's right. That sounds right. And again, Virginia, Boston College, I think North Carolina, only because I don't think Mac Brown's going to be there much longer.
Yeah, I would agree with North. Yeah, I would agree with
And I guess that would be about it.
Yeah,
I would like to say NC State, but I mean they're a perennial like 7, 8, 9 win team. I mean they are what they are.
Because even these teams that had bad years like Wake Forest and Pittsburgh, like they've had their coaches there for a long time. Like they're not gonna. I don't think they're too worried about it. And then you got Duke is probably hopeful with Manny Diaz. Boston College could be a contender. Syracuse I think likes their hire. But yeah, so I would say North Carolina, Boston College, or Virginia. I think I would pick Virginia. They have just been god awful, man. Tony Elliott was a terrible hire. I don't know why they hired him in the first place. I thought it was a bad hire. I don't get these schools that hire guys that are about to get fired. Like he was like.
Yeah, I think the reason they hired him wasn't all football related, even though it probably should have been. I think it was more of a culture thing. And I mean, listen, the guy still has 2 national championship rings as a coordinator. So it's not like he's chopped liver.
Well, that is clearly not translated to any semblance of success.
No, I agree with you.
They have been just horrible. And he took over a bowl team, you know? I think they went 6-6 or something the year that he took them over. So he's regressed them 2 years now. And they are not showing any signs of life either, like any direction. You got Wahoo Brad, he's making NASCAR videos. That's a big
damn.
I know. He deleted all his old Virginia videos.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately for him, Virginia is not the type of university that fires coaches on a regular basis.
They need to. Well, they've got to. I mean, surely you have to. If he goes 3-9 again, you got to fire him, right? If all I can do is put myself in a Virginia fan's shoes, and if they go 3-9 this season, then I would be calling for his head for sure. Now I will say Jeff Collins won 3 games, 3 years, and we gave him a 4th year, and then we fired him in the middle of the season. So, but we were coming off the triple option, we kind of understood that would take a while to translate. There's no kind of excuse like that for him here.
I see. We have an NC State fan in the chat, Brent. What's up, Brent? He says we could have easily won 11 games in 2021, lost to Miami and Wake Forest by 4 points combined. Well, you're kind of proving my point though, because that's sort of the MO of your head coach. That's not an isolated event there. Every year, that's what they say. Well, we could have easily won 2 more games, but you don't. That's kind of the point. I don't know. If I were an NC State fan, I'd be ready to move on from Dave Dorn. I just would. I mean, we know who he is. It's not like he's a first or second year coach. The guy's been there since the iPhone was invented.
Yeah.
He's the winningest head coach in NC State history.
But that's not hard to do when you're there for a million years. I mean,
says our basketball team sucks too, so he's got to come up with some material.
How about baseball? They're usually pretty good at baseball.
Well, he's clearly chosen NASCAR as his.
Maybe he can start making baseball videos.
That's funny. So somebody else says this too, Brad says that BC has hired Bill O'Brien as head coach, and I don't think we've had an ACC show since that hire was made. Should we talk about that?
Since what? Sorry.
Since that hire
Bill
was
O'Brien
made.
was hired.
Since they hired, I don't think we've had a
Oh.
show since they hired him.
Yeah, no, we haven't. Yeah, so that was a weird turn of events. So basically, what happened was Bill O'Brien accepted the offensive coordinator position job at Ohio State. I mean, was it like less than a week later he was out the door to Boston College, and then of course they bring in Chip Kelly who quit. I guess he didn't even get fired from UCLA. He just gave him the deuces, and got scooped up by. Now let me ask you about this. We'll talk about Bill O'Brien in a second. How do you feel? And I know how Slim feels about it because he already told me. Do you think that Chip Kelly to Ohio State is a good move for them?
Yes, I do. Yeah,
I do too. Slim feels like, and he and listen, I'm not like singing from the mountaintops. I do believe that Ohio State, in my opinion, right now, based on what I know from their roster and their coaching staff, is probably the team to beat in 2024.
Yeah, I do too. They have an insane transfer portal.
Yeah.
And,
Well, they scooped up a half of Alabama's players that left whenever Saban retired.
Bill O'Brien leaving was the best thing that could have happened to them. He had all this talent at Alabama, and their offense sucked balls when it was under him.
So
I don't know what they were thinking hiring him, but he left them and they upgraded at OC.
No, they really didn't.
They did.
Because you have to look at what was going on at Alabama. When Bill O'Brien was the head coach, hang on.
And
When Bill
Jameer
O'Brien
Davis?
was the head coach, he was the OC and the quarterbacks coach. They led the nation in drop passes.
Uh-huh.
You can only do so much when your quarterback that you're coaching is throwing dimes that your receivers aren't catching.
Right.
Well, all I hear from people that criticize Clemson's coaching staff is, well, if they're turning the ball over, 3 times a game, that's a coaching problem. But they're not. But the coaches aren't the ones fumbling the ball on the 1 yard line. So I don't know. I think that Chip Kelly. Here's Slim's position on Chip Kelly. He says that he had an innovative offense 15 years ago, and now that's the norm in college football, and everyone's figured it out. So there's nothing special about it. My position is that when you look at the talent at Ohio State based on what he had at UCLA, it's night and day.
Yeah.
Well, I don't disagree with that point, but my overall point is, what success has a Brian Kelly or Chip Kelly offense had since his days at Oregon?
Was I saying Brian Kelly?
Oregon there towards the end.
I meant Chip Kelly, but I don't know if I was saying Brian Kelly or not.
Being an OC is a lot different from being a head coach. You're not going to be, he wasn't growing up.
Now that is true.
For it at UCLA,
Yeah, I still think he's.
It may be different, and you're right. It very well may be different with him just focusing on the offense and not being the head coach. But I still think teams have got him and his scheme figured out.
Sportsmark says, I don't get the Chip Kelly move. Do you mean you don't get the Chip Kelly move on Chip Kelly's part or on Ohio State's part? Because those are two different things. And I think it was a good move for both parties, if you ask me. First of all, I don't know what he was getting paid at UCLA, but he's probably getting paid pretty damn close to that at Ohio State as a coordinator and not having to deal with the headache of being a head coach. So
yeah, I think both of them upgraded.
And they almost fired him this past season.
Yeah.
And decided 10th hour not to.
Who, Chip Kelly?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we probably
because I don't think that was because of on-field performance. That was because he didn't get along with the boosters or something.
Well, now we're going to the one thing that is a negative about Chip Kelly. Now this pertains to him as a head coach, not a coordinator, so it's different. But that's kind of happened everywhere he went, right? It happened at Oregon, it happened with the Eagles, and it happened at UCLA. So it's a pattern with him. I don't think he's probably the easiest guy to get along with if you're his boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Ryan Day's desperate at this point. and to me, this hire just reeks of desperation.
I think he upgraded. I think it was a good hire.
let's just be real. There's only so far that UCLA is going to go on any given year. So I don't really. I mean, the sky's not the limit there.
Man, here's my thing with that though. Like, to say he doesn't have as much talent as Ohio State, fine. But to say he didn't have talent is a whole nother thing. And you give him another year with Dante Moore, I'd like to see what maybe could have happened if I'm wrong about him and his system. Because in my opinion, Dante Moore coming out of high school was probably number 2 behind Nico and ahead of Arch Manning.
I still think that Chip Kelly is one of the better offensive minds in football.
I do too.
And he may be, because it worked out at Ohio State with Petrino. I mean, their offense was putting up pretty good numbers. A&M, my bad.
Being a head coach is a lot different from.
Now we can talk about Bill O'Brien at Boston College. I'm more baffled by that than I am about Chip Kelly going to Ohio State, honestly.
You know,
I mean,
O'Brien's a good coach.
He is. I agree with you. I think he's a very good coach. I just think I'm surprised that's the job that he took. I think he could.
I think Bill O'Brien looks at it like being a head coach, even at Boston College, beats being a coordinator anywhere.
They must have paid him because, we were going to hire him, but we didn't want to pay him as much as he wanted. Isn't that weird?
That is weird because I don't really think of Boston College as a school with deep pockets as far as their athletic department goes.
Is his salary public? Let me see.
I think
Boston College is a Catholic school.
Yeah, it's private.
So I don't got to tell you. Well,
I mean, some information ought to leak out. I mean, some information on Mario's contract leaked out. So
yeah, because and it's not like we were probably willing to pay him $3 million or so. So I don't know. I wonder if he wanted like 5 or something.
Is Bill O'Brien Catholic?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Now
I think he is. His last name's O'Brien. That's Irish. He's probably Irish Catholic.
This might sound.
I don't know, man. I mean, you got some pretty devout Protestants that coming out of there too.
Yeah. Well.
Do you guys think that was a good hire? Or?
Yeah. For who? For Boston College? Absolutely. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm shocked that they landed Bill O'Brien.
Yeah. So this might sound hypocritical because I didn't want him as our coach, but I think it was a good hire for them. I don't know. I don't know.
I think you would have been lucky to get him.
I kind of view like Georgia Tech as a higher, maybe because I'm a homer, but I view it as a better job than Boston College. So.
But here's the thing: if Bill O'Brien goes to Boston College, let's say he's there for 4 seasons, all right, and he puts together a couple of good seasons where maybe once they even compete for the ACC, or even just like 9-win seasons and a bowl win. He's going to be out the door.
Yeah.
He's going to get offers somewhere else, and he'll take it because they'll be able to pay him more.
Yeah.
So it's not a destination job. That's why I was surprised about it. But I do think it's a good hire.
They were coming off of a decent year. They could be decent this year.
Well, one thing he does have going for him is his connections with the NFL. As far as a recruiting tool, because that, again, like a lot of the schools in the ACC, recruit, especially in the Northeast, that's your biggest hurdle, is recruiting. And if you have a guy with connections to the NFL who was a successful, NFL head coach at Houston, you can get guys in there that you normally wouldn't get, with promises of going to the NFL and that kind of thing. Now, I don't know what their NIL situation is up there. I would imagine it's not very prevalent at all, but
they really got God's NIL up there.
Problem is, nobody in Boston gives a shit about college football. They only care about professional sports.
Yeah.
Same problem at Syracuse, Rutgers, all those kind of places. Oh. Yeah, he's got a great track record. I mean, he was he's got the stint at with the Patriots. He had the stint at Penn State. Then the Texans. Where was he last? Where was Bill O'Brien this last? Oh, then at Alabama.
Yeah.
Where was he this last season?
I'm not sure if he was.
He was the Patriots OC.
Oh, he was.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Their OC.
Okay.
But I guess.
Wait a minute. Belichick fired his son as the OC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
And they just Belichick just retired. So
I don't think he retired. I think he quit, or a mutual agreement to quit / get fired.
Yeah, that was pretty mutual.
And then nobody hired him. Because I'm pretty sure he interviewed. Well, I know he interviewed for the Falcons job, and there was one other one.
the Falcons didn't want him. They wanted the DC of the Rams for some reason.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know. I'm sure that guy's going to turn the franchise around.
I'll be waiting with bated breath.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was Bill Belichick's son? I think he was the defensive coordinator, wasn't he? Not the offensive coordinator. I don't know. That shows.
I have it backwards. Okay.
I don't know. That shows you how much I know about the NFL these days.
Yeah, don't ask me.
I just don't keep up with it enough to know.
There.
Oh. Anyway, so there you guys have it.
Yeah.
Superlatives 2023. I know it's 2024, but that's for the 23 season. And again, the 100th episode of the ACC show.
Hell yeah.
There's been some real bangers over the years.
Have I went through. I was gonna make like a
compilation.
Yeah, like a compilation, but watching hours and hours of shows is not.
Well, yeah, that's the problem.
But
it takes forever to do that.
I did have some funny moments. That I had a few of them at least.
We've had some funny moments. We've also had some pretty epic arguments.
Yeah. I have some from last season.
Most of them involve you, I think. C-Dog gets so mad.
Like when I was in the freaking woods, and like y'all kept telling me Georgia Tech was gonna suck this year, and getting me all pissed off.
Yeah, you thought that I was taking my stance on Georgia Tech just to make you mad, but I wasn't. I was just doing it because that's what I thought.
That made me even more mad.
I know.
That made me even more mad because, like, I knew that we weren't going to be bad. I knew we were making a bowl, and I couldn't convince anyone otherwise. And it drove me.
See, I still don't believe that. I think you're no different than the Miami fans you claim to cannot stand. That you just kept saying that you just keep saying.
Hold on now.
I didn't say
I'm not saying you said you claim win the ACC, but you keep claiming the same thing over and over and over again. And the shit's bound to stick eventually.
I picked us to go 4-8 the season before this past season, and we went 5-7.
Well,
so I did not do that over and over again.
C-Dog.
No.
There's video evidence after your loss to Bowling Green when you shuffled out of that stadium at the beginning of the fourth quarter and you sat down on that bench. You said at that point, you're like, I've got bets with all these different people. I may as well just go ahead and send them the money now. So even you gave up hope.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't. It doesn't matter, though. I was still right.
Reminds me, I got to go by the bank and get C-Dog a $50 bill.
That's right. That's right.
That's all right. I'll take that because we're gonna win our first ACC championship and make the playoffs this year.
Mm-hmm.
You should just give C-Dog like $44 and tell him it was because of the $6 ATM fee.
Transaction.
I'm just kidding.
The instant transfer fee.
Sea-Dog, what day are you getting up there again? Are you going up early, aren't you?
Friday. So I'm gonna try to get there Friday.
Oh yeah, yeah. Get up as early as you can, cause
yeah. I'll try to leave around 9, and then and get out. That'll put me there around 1. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that should be fine. I figure as long as we get there, but I think the latest we should get there is 3.
Yeah.
And from what I can tell, it's only like a 5 or 10 minute drive at most to the place. So
yeah,
if you get there around 1, that'd be fine.
That sounds good. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It came out quick.
Of course. I'm getting in the countdown and trying to get myself ready to go. And they put me on a run that's going to piss me off.
What do you mean by that? Where are you going?
I told you before we got a contract to run stuff for next year. Well, I was running a trailer down to basically right outside of New Orleans. And they were like, there may be more to it, but we'll have to call and let you know. Well, they called and let me know that I have to go all the way to Okeechobee, Florida, which is 12 hours from there.
Oh, no.
So, basically, what was going to be just away from the house for the night, I'm not going to be back home till maybe Saturday.
Ooh. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Well, but at least you get next week. You got what, like 5 days off or something?
Let's see. Yeah, 5 days. I took off the Monday too. That way, I'm not trying to get up super early in the morning.
Yeah, we thought about doing that too, and I almost actually changed my reservation, except for the fact that the kids have school, and
Yeah.
So
That's bad. Yeah. I mean, we're still going to leave Sunday, but I figure, we can do like we did in Pigeon Forge. We ain't in a rush to get up. A few people go have some breakfast before they hit the road, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So. Well, last night we did do the slob odds. I don't know if you guys saw that on the Lunch Money Show or not, but
yeah, I was rewatching that this morning.
I kind of stumped for Sea-Dog there because I think he's been disrespected in the past, and he's out.
I didn't get to check it out, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, you did for me too. I mean,
yeah, I did.
Got me up into. I finished, like you said, the last 2 years. I mean, they've both been in the top 10. Last year, me and you tied.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, dude. And I finished second and third before.
I think I moved you, Sea-Dog, ahead of me. I put myself at 10. I think somebody moved me up to 9 or something happened.
You and Jay swapped places.
Yeah.
So paid for that.
Yeah, that's right. But Sea-Dog is in the top 10. Slim is in the top 10. I think both of you guys are ahead of me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're right behind me. You're at 9. I'm at 8.
You're right. Which I like where I'm at. I don't need that. I've been put at number 1 twice now. That's too much pressure. I don't need pressure.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, anyway.
Well, and there can't be any pressure for me because I'm going to be running around on the beach in a skirt, so ain't no pressure when you're doing that.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that. Again, as long as you're wearing underwear or bloomers or whatever. I don't know what your outfit is, but yeah.
Now that you mentioned, I probably should have looked for bloomers.
Judging from how bad some of the people say that the Panama City police are, you don't want to get arrested for indecent exposure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fuck them if they can't take a joke.
But you will not be wearing that giant duck head this year, will you?
Hell yeah, I am.
Also, Sea-Dog, I gave you your props as far as your performance in the Slob Olympics, but we also kind of tore you down with your perpetual yearly costume being the same every year.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I think you were headed on the right track, and you were even on the right track at first, because me and you had conversations about this. You were just going to slowly modify it year after year, and you got lazy and didn't.
I was adapting it year after year. What do you mean? I did like a beach theme last year. I wore like shoulder pads the year before.
So what you're saying is we can expect to see the chicken wing on the fishing, huh?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I was thinking about doing a donut this year though because of the competition.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I'm not gonna come up with anything funnier than that.
Well,
but
if you don't,
okay. Here's what I'll say. I do have an incredible idea for a new, for a way to improve upon it. It would be legendary, possibly the best costume of all time. But I have to wait for a Slob Olympics that's not going to be on the beach.
Huh?
So
why does that matter?
That's all I'm going to say about it. So.
Okay.
Now, I will say this. I did listen, and I agreed with you about the problems the head caused. But I ordered something, and hopefully I'm fixing to make some modifications to kind of help that out.
This is totally me, like, I know there's no way to quantify this, but you should get points. You should get extra points based on how much your costume impedes you.
No. But that's too hard to judge.
I know it wouldn't be hard to implement, but that would be, it would really allow people to go crazy. Because I wore shoulder pads one year, and you don't expect them to hurt you a lot, but they do.
Well, when you're throwing things, it definitely hurts you.
Yeah. And the freaking thing, every time I throw something, it goes wild and it messes me up.
Yeah, it's not like you were wearing like quarterback shoulder pads either. You're wearing like linebacker from 1985 shoulder pads.
Yeah.
I mean, all you were missing was the neck roll.
Yeah,
right. Neck roll.
Now, we did consider, and I don't think we're going to do it, but maybe extra points for the most offensive. Like, in other words, if you're a white guy and you show up in blackface, you might get extra points for that just for doing it. You know, because if you offend people and people get mad at you, then, I mean, like the most.
I mean, I can show up in a Speedo. That'll offend a lot of people.
Well, I mean, Nate, if you want to go down that road, Nate's costume last year was pretty offensive. I mean, he was dressed in a Hooters outfit. But I think the most offensive out of all of them has got to be Friction Vixen.
Well, what about White Tonto?
Now that would fall into the blackface category, yeah.
Not the Pope costume.
White Tonto.
White Tonto, yeah.
I guess the Pope costume was pretty offensive to some people.
He was gonna bring a.
Oh yeah. You don't even.
So apparently, it could have been
now,
much worse.
That would have been the most offensive costume of all time.
And let me tell you something. I heard from a couple of people that we might have had our first slob fight if he went through with that.
Yeah, there was some people that were pretty worried about that. Yeah, for sure. And I think I don't know if word got back to him or if maybe somebody told him probably not a good idea to do that. But he's probably one of the only people that would do that. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't either. Although then again, I mean, the Pope costume wouldn't have crossed my mind either.
I thought the Pope costume was great.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm trying to also keep all my costumes related to Miami as well.
Well, you do a thing like last year you had the duck head, and the year before that you had the wrestling mat. You like to cover your face up. Yeah, that's your thing.
I'm telling you guys,
it kind of has become that way.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, if we had one that wasn't on the beach, I would blow your freaking socks off.
Dude, I mean, I was gonna go like the whole 9 yards and show up with a sword strapped to my back, but I was like, man, that's probably gonna screw me up.
Yeah, and you might get a weapons charge too. Is that even legal? I mean, unless it's a plastic play sword.
I honestly didn't even consider that, to be perfectly honest with you.
Having things strapped to your back is tough.
I could see Slim showing up.
Fuck them if they can't take a joke.
Slim showing up with a Japanese katana blade, like a real one, strapped to his back.
Well,
a samurai costume would be badass. Now,
I bet you own a katana, don't you?
Yeah.
See, I knew it. Well, Florida does have open constitutional carry, so technically,
I might have been all right with it.
Technically, somebody could walk around with a loaded gun on their hip and not get in trouble for it.
Well, hey, you know what? I bet if I showed up with a damn pistol on my hip and an AR-15 slung over my shoulder, there'd be a few incensed people at the Slav Olympics.
Yeah, that would definitely piss some people off. It wouldn't bother me, but that's just me. Anyway. All right, guys, I mentioned I had to get off a couple minutes before 9 o'clock tonight. I got something I got to do, so I have to end the show. But great 100th episode, a great superlative show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate Slim coming on and giving us a Miami fan perspective. And a true Seminole came on at the start of the show, but I think his baby was crying and he had to get off and go be a dad, which is more important than this. That's for sure.
No, let's be honest. That was still him crying from getting left out of the playoffs.
Oh, is that what it was? So you're saying it was him crying, not the baby?
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right. All right. All right. Thanks, Slim. Have fun on your 12-hour trip.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Talk to you later.
Later on, yeah.
All right, Sea-Dog. We did it, buddy. Barely.
Man.
We did it. 100 episodes. You believe it? I can't.
I can't do, dude.
I can't. All right, what you got coming up? Anything?
No, I haven't made a video in a month.
So you're due then, what you're saying?
I probably should do something. My channel's gonna die.
Well, I'm just gonna throw this out there, but nobody has done a Slob Olympics training video, and it's coming up in a week and a half.
Yeah, I need to do that. Yeah.
That's what you need to do.
I definitely.
Because you do great ones, and also if you make one, it'll be the best one of this year because it'll be the only one.
Well, every year I've made one has been the best one. So.
Yeah. Well, no.
Last year is fine. You can have that one. The year before, though, come on.
You've made some great ones.
The first year too.
Yeah, I love your ones.
You played it the other day on midday show.
Yeah, no, yeah, that was amazing and fantastic, no doubt about it.
That was my first one. I think the second one was better. It was like Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah, I remember.
And it was after Georgia won the Natty.
I'm probably on either this Friday or one of the midday shows next week, right before the Slob Olympics. I'm just going to go through and do a compilation and just play every Slob Olympics training video that anybody's ever made on the midday show.
Yeah.
And then people can judge for themselves about which ones are better than the others.
I really enjoyed your last midday show. We need to have a pose down at the Slob Olympics.
Oh my God.
We need to have a pose down.
I swear to God. Don't even get me started with him. I know you love him as much as me.
I do.
I mean, that's pure entertainment there.
It is. It is very, very entertaining.
All right, buddy. I do have to go though. So, all right, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. See you later, Sea-Dog.
See you later, man.
Have a good one. Yeah, that's gonna do it for the ACC show. And no midday show tomorrow. I'm going to be gone all day, so I won't be home to do the show. I will be back on Friday morning, though, on my second channel. If you want a link to the second channel, it's in the description of this stream here. And I'll be back at 11 a.m. for the midday show on Friday. Everybody have a great rest of your evening, and then thank you. Have a good night.